You're listening to a MonkeyBuns Production. Hello, it's me, Alfie. You're listening to Alfie Pod's Fancy Footy. Yes, isn't it good to have the Premier League back? I am very much enjoying it. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy international football. But, you know, there's no fantasy game to run alongside it. I mean, maybe there is, but I don't need another one in my life. But I just want to get back to the main one, which is Premier League. And the Premier League, some changes this week, wasn't there? First 0-0. There's a couple of 1-0s, which hasn't happened yet. And it's got me thinking, is the football narrative about to turn? Are we embarking upon a new brief period of 0-0s and 1-0s? Are the defenders suddenly going to take hold? Who knows? Not likely. But winter is coming. Winter is coming. As Jon Snow once said. Didn't you, John? Yes, I did. That wasn't a very good impression. He kind of went to a different place there, accent-wise. I am babbling. But yes, today's show, of course, Will I Beat Magnus? All about FPL. I'm joined by Will, Matt, and Jordie. Now, with the edit, there may be some background noises. That is because we are warts and all, and that's Jordie's family making noise. But because they live in the Netherlands, it's kind of international and fun. So that's groovy. And they're probably just chilling out, just being cool and stuff. And I kind of like that. So that's what that is. And we had a few... But look, this is it. This is what happens when you record over the internet. And, some of you may recognise that this podcast is longer than normal. I normally try to keep it down as close to 35 minutes as possible. But the lads said so much stuff that I thought was pertinent and worth listening to. So I kept it in. Okay, good. Let's get straight into the chat. We're, of course, going to start off by looking at our game weeks. And then that's when the transfer juices start rolling in. FPL, I wanna be champion. Or at least I'm gonna be top 10. Now there's this guy who plays the best at chess. If I beat him, that's relative success. Take it down now! Will I beat Magnus? Or is this madness? Will I beat Magnus? I got to beat that Magnus.
I'm kind of embarrassed that Jordie's English is better than mine.
Is it? Is it really?
Yes, it really is, yeah.
Do you want to hear something interesting / not interesting? But when I do those little promo clips and I put the subtitles on, so then it comes up automatically.
Yeah.
And I'm always interested to know which English it prefers. And it really likes Matt. It picks up on everything Matt says. And then Will talks, doesn't like Will, doesn't like me. Like anything
Weird.
English. Yeah.
It's Irish. Maybe we're not speaking an Irish accent.
Mate, it would save me so much time on edit. That would.
It's no problem for me. I mean, I can do Irish like the back of my hand.
I won't even try. I'm not going to try.
Hi, Jordie.
Hello.
No more football for you. But your brother is now an official Premier League standard referee, or Endravisi standard, shall I say?
It's the highest league in Holland, so you could say Premier League in Holland. It's called Eredivisie. But yeah, he's made his debut and he's done very well. Okay, so what I want to know is, how did you become a footballer and he became a referee? Did he hate football? No, he was. He went through the same academy as I did. When you get to the age of 18, 19, you need to make a choice. Do you stay a footballer or I think a couple of years before that, he used to be a referee just for small youth teams and he liked it. So he thought, yeah, why not? He could go, he thought he was doing well. So in the end, he had to make a choice. You want to stay a footballer or you want to become a referee? And he thought the referee was going to make him the possibility to go further. He was a good footballer. He was a centre back, but he was not. He didn't have the qualities to go pro or to make a living out of it. Yeah, he made the choice, and he's 25 now. So that's 6-7 years ago. Yeah, and he's made big steps along the way.
Fair enough. Good luck to him. Good luck to your bro. Will, how are you anyway? Did you have a good FPL weekend?
Yeah, it was fine. It wasn't particularly... It was good. I mean, I was delighted that Werner returned and got some points from him. I didn't have Kane, but then as Werner got the same amount of points as Kane, that's all right. I had Son, Havertz got a goal. I had, debated for ages whether I should start Rodriguez or James at Chelsea. I thought, James came on for Pulisic. I was thinking, okay, look, if James doesn't start, he probably won't come on because I got some taking Aspie off. And then he comes on for Pulisic. So that just made no sense to me. It was annoying. But in the end, it made no difference whatsoever.
Yeah. Don't go there, Will.
Yeah. So, going into the deadline, I done one transfer. So I got Brewster in because I felt that he's likely to start. Certainly start more matches than he does. And I think during these COVID times, you need to have a bench. And I had Davis in that position from Aston Villa. And I also wanted to get more Villa players. So I didn't want to have, a bench fodder being a Villa player.
Right.
So Brewster made a lot of sense to me. And then I had 2 free transfers, so I had one left. And then I was debating, I really don't like McCarthy's fixtures. I don't think he's going to keep a clean sheet in any of the next 5 or 6 games. So I was thinking, do I want to get Martinez because he's impressed? And I thought, and then I didn't do it in a way because they were playing Leicester. And I thought, Jamie Vardy would be, he's pretty good. He did concede 2 to Salah. And then, of course, Vardy doesn't play. And it's like, okay. And Martinez gets 9 points and McCarthy gets 1. So that was a mistake. And instead of doing that, I did Watkins for Adams because Adams had been getting chances, but he'd sort of fluffed them or shot straight at the keeper, or they'd been a great save. He wasn't getting enough points. And then, of course, he gets 11 points with an assist and a goal against Chelsea. So that was that backfired as well. And as usual, I always captained the wrong player. So I went for Salah. Great, you got a goal. You didn't blank. That's brilliant. But, my other options were Son and Werner, who got 13 points and 16 points. So, again, decent, but could have been better.
So what were you in this? You were above average, weren't you? You were what, like in the 60?
I was 66 points in the end. So it's not bad.
That's all right. I mean, I got 68 and I'm happy with 68. Anything above average, right? I
was moaning with 74.
Yeah, but you got high standards.
Yeah, but it was mostly due to just what I had planned to do. And I finally ended up with the points from Jimenez 8 and what was the last game on Sunday? I think it was the Leicester one. So I got Martinez with 9. So those were good points, but it started on Saturday when I planned to do both Son and Kane in, and I wanted to captain Kane. But I didn't. So then you get in, you see your game week going from a negative point of view, and then.
But mate, that's 70. That's 74. Did you say? That's good.
Yeah, 74 is more than decent, I think, but it could have been so much better. I benched James Rodriguez for Brewster. Cost me 3 points. I should have bought Kane for Jimenez, and I would have captained him. So that would have been, I think, somewhere around 10 points. I benched Konsa. So, but I won't complain.
But to be fair, with that Aston Villa fixture, I mean, Leicester have put 8 past Villa in the last 2 games they played them, so it's fair enough.
Yeah, but I don't... It's based on this season... I don't think you can depend on or rely on previous games between 2 teams because it's all. I just gave advice to someone on Fizo. Fizo was wondering about a certain transfer, and I said based on this season, I'd go 4 more fixtures and wherever you go because Aston Villa look like getting a result against anyone. Everton look like getting a result against anyone. Spurs should have won against West Ham. Simple as that.
You could argue that West Ham now look like they could get result against anyone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So he was debating whether to get rid of either Ings or Jimenez, and I think Ings looks better because Wolves. They don't appeal to me, to be honest.
I don't think they ever looked in doubt that victory for them. I thought it was going to be 1 or 2-0. They got it. So I don't know, but this isn't it like their best start, Wolves? But yet they're not sparkling. Matt, you enjoyed your game week. I think you beat me and Will in those terms, but on the same levels as Jordie. Who broke your heart the most? Was it Ryan Brewster, Chris Wilder, or Mitrovic?
I think the 2 strikers, Brewster not starting and Mitrovic were just as nightmare game of missing a penalty and, you know, having 3 really great chances that he either missed or were saved. You know, I wasn't really expecting too much from the defence. You know, Doherty didn't play, so I had Mitchell subbing in against Brighton, who I did think would score. So I got 5 points in total from my defence. So, you know, I'm not really too miffed about that because I wasn't expecting much this week defence-wise. But yeah, I mean, I had 7 players who blanked in my team and, you know, came away with 71 points. So it was obviously just, you know, Kane's captaincy and Son, Sterling, and then the goal from Salah made up the majority of those points. Looking at the team for next week, there's a couple of changes that I'd like to make because I don't know how much longer I can get away with not having the likes of Calvert-Lewin and a few other players that are quite highly owned.
That price for Calvert-Lewin is rocketing up.
Yeah.
Exponentially. So which changes are you looking at then, Matt?
You're going to laugh, but I'm probably not going to be able to get Calvert-Lewin in as soon as I'd like. You know, the thing is, like we talked about last week, I can't really free up the cash unless I make 2 or 3 transfers. And, you know, I'm probably going to wildcard soon, so I can get him in then. I think Mason Mount has to go for me.
You've been saying that for 4 weeks.
Yeah, no, he's finally gone this week. He really, really is gone.
No,
this
you
week,
sure? He's definitely sure.
No, definitely. Yeah, he's definitely gone. Away to Man United, probably not even going to start. So, yeah, I'm looking at 2 replacements. I'm thinking either Phil Foden, who is always a kind of a rotation risk, but on his day can deliver some nice points. Or Jordie's going to like this. I'm coming around to the idea.
I want to ask you.
Yeah, I'm coming around to the idea of Ross Barkley because, you know, Aston.
Do you have the money for a double swap between Mitrovic and Mount to Barkley and Calvert-Lewin?
No, I'm a couple of million off. I'd probably have to lose Doherty as well. So I may just do. I mean, Mitrovic is at home to Crystal Palace this week, so I could probably hold on to him for another week.
You holding on to Mitrovic gives me a memory of when I kept Joselu from Newcastle United. You remember him?
Right.
For almost the entire season. Believe it or not, I kept him for almost the entire season.
But I
it
think
was crazy.
to be fair, I watched the Fulham game, Sheffield United. Sheffield United, obviously, I thought were quite lucky to get away with that. Fulham, I was quite impressed with their attacking quartet. Like, even Anguissa.
Lookman has really transformed him. He was phenomenal. Had a great game.
And
really game.
Mitrovic another day would have scored. I think Anguissa set him up and he missed a penner, obviously.
Yeah.
And Loftus-Cheek, it doesn't look like he can run anymore. Not at this stage. But he's still got some nice touches. I was thinking, like, would you rather have Sheffield United's attack or Fulham? I think I'd take Fulham all day long.
Yeah,
not sure,
definitely.
And their defence is improved with that Man City lad came in.
Fitness with Loftus-Cheek, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah. Where's Will gone?
It's terrible. So I'm just turning the video off just to reduce the bandwidth a bit.
Okay, cool. I was going to say, you said your piece and then turned it off. Loftus-Cheek, done.
You can listen on your phone. You can do it all night. Drop the podcast and get angry. Go outside and start a fight. But be careful with your captain and be careful with your life. Cause the football gonna get you right.
There's 2 players I want to talk about. That involves all of us. What are we going to do about Reece James?
Well, I've sold him.
You sold him
already? Yeah. I was forced into it. My rule this season was just don't make early transfers. Wait, because there'll be information you get. There'll be players out. You'll miss out on. It's more. The information is worth more than moving early. And I decided to make an exception this week. And the reason is we've got a Friday deadline, so don't miss out because of that. It's the first Friday deadline of the season. We've got some international matches. No international matches. We've got some European games, but I'm not too worried about the players I was looking at playing those European games. So I think I'm probably okay. So it's a training injury or COVID that could come up that might scupper my plans. I'm waffling a bit. The moves I did, and I was forced into it because of imminent price changes, was Doherty to Regulon, Reg, as I like to call him, and James to Chilwell, because Chilwell was going up, Doherty was going down. I had to make the move. It was like a 0.2 swing. I think a lot of people are saying, well, yeah, their Chelsea defence isn't good. They're not going to get clean sheets. I'm not interested in Chelsea. Why not get clean sheets? Well, to be honest, I reckon they're going to get 10 clean sheets this season.
Yeah.
When they get their goalkeeper back and they get Thiago in. So that's 40 points. Chilwell looks so attacking. I mean, we all know how good Alonso can be from that position. He looks like, Chilwell's just getting into the box. I've been really impressed with him in his 2 matches so far. Reg has been fantastic for Spurs as well. He was the best left back in La Liga last season. You can see he gets forward. Even when on his debut in the Carabao Cup against Chelsea, he made a mistake that allowed Chelsea to score. But he didn't put his head down. He kept going, and then by the end of the game, he provided the assist for Lamela to equalise. So he's got that grit, he's got steel, he's got energy. He's a really good player, and I just feel that he's more. I think Doherty will come back in the next match. He's a better defender than Aurier. So I do think he will come back in, but I just feel Doherty's Reg is probably more secure in his position. There's maybe a little bit of a question mark with Doherty and Aurier, and also price-wise, he's cheaper. So I think that's why I've made all those moves. In a very long, good luck editing that kind of answer.
No, I liked it.
Well, are you going to play both defenders you bought in this week?
Yeah, I'm getting real. It's called endowment bias, where I'm just like falling in love with my players, and I don't really want to change anything at all. It's like I really like my structure. I think I've got, everyone's saying sell Trent. I'm not going to sell Trent.
No.
He's had 9 shots. He's had created 9 chances. Keep him. I've got Robertson in already. Brilliant. Delighted with him. And then I've got now Reg and Chilwell. I love that. I think that's a solid defence I want to play every week, especially for the next 4 or 5 fixtures for both Tottenham and Chelsea. So, yeah, very happy with that.
I think you should be, actually. I like that, Will. I like it. Jordie, what are you going to do about Reece James?
I think I'm able to put him on my bench again. I'm able to just keep him for 1 more week, I think.
But there's something to be said, because I'm lumbered with Reece James as well. That was a poor decision I made 2 weeks ago, especially with size looking so good. And the other one I was going to get was Dallas at the time, because I think for that price, he's busy, involved in stuff, and he could get a couple of goals. Anyway, so Reece James, but there's an argument to be said that this week against United, Lampard could go 5 at the back. He has done in the past.
Yeah, but do you want to play Reece James then, even if you know he would play?
Well, I'd play Reece James just for his attacking impetus against that Man United no-look defending thing they got going on, which is always quite comical. But I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there as an idea. I mean, I'm not convinced by it. I mean, I want to get rid of him, really. But I don't need to get rid of him yet, like you, Jordie. I can afford to let it swing for another week. I just hope his price doesn't plummet.
Like Spurs, when we played them, and I thought one of the reasons Aurier played, partly Doherty had played the Thursday before, but also Aurier's speed against, United have got those lightning fast attackers. So I would suggest that Azpilicueta might be better at dealing with that than Reece James.
Oh, right, dealing with the attack, the counter.
Yeah, dealing with them. They have to defend as well. They're not just attacking.
I don't know about Chelsea these days, to be honest, mate. But yeah, I like your point about the goalkeeper coming back. I think that does change things. He looks quite sturdy, doesn't he? He's a bit like Nick Pope, I thought. Matt, you keeping Doherty?
I mean, the 2 kind of last goals that, not the 2 last goals, the first 2 goals that Spurs conceded, they were kind of free kicks. They started from free kicks on Aurier's side, so I know he may not have been directly at fault. I was only keeping one eye on the game. I wasn't paying attention to it as much as I probably should have. But I noticed that the 2 free kicks that West Ham's goals resulted from, they were over on that side that Aurier plays on. So maybe Jose won't be kind of too happy with the fact that they showed weakness on that side and might mix things up on that side of the team. So, yeah, I'm going to play him. I mean, I don't really like my defence this week again. Probably Liverpool have the best chance of a clean sheet, I think. I have to play double Southampton defence, which is, asking for trouble. And then my backup is Justin away to Arsenal for Leicester and Mitchell, who probably won't play if Van Aanholt is back now, away to Fulham. So, defence isn't great. I mean, I could wildcard this week, but I mean, I'm probably going to put, if I did wildcard, I'd probably put double Liverpool defence in, which, in another week or so, they're going to be playing Man City. They have some tricky enough games coming up. They've Leicester and Man City and stuff. So, yeah, I think I'll just be a bit patient and kind of hope that my defence can bail me out maybe one more week and just kind of focus on getting rid of the likes of Mason Mount, who's been, kind of struggling the last few weeks. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'll just get rid of Mount, maybe go to Barkley. Because, I watched the game. I know Barkley's goal was probably a bit fortunate, a long-range strike, but putting that aside, throughout the game, he looked quite sharp. He kind of looked like the Ross Barkley from Everton, where he was kind of making central runs into the box, getting forward, being involved in the attack. And, we've yet to see if he'll be on penalties if Aston Villa get a penalty. So that could be an added bonus, And, he's 5.9 million. He's probably going to rise tomorrow. So I'm holding off as much as I can to see if there's any injuries, for Chelsea or United tonight. Hopefully he doesn't rise tonight so I can get to see the City game and Liverpool tomorrow. So, it's going to free up $1 million cash. And then maybe next week I can, if Doherty looks to be an issue, I might be able to get rid of him and use the extra $1 million to get Calvert-Lewin in somewhere. Maybe for Mitrovic. So so that's the plan.
Don't give up on Mitrovic yet, mate. Just don't.
He's staying for Palace anyway.
Yeah, he should do. He's due a goal, mate. He's due a goal for sure. Hey, so what about Ross Barkley then? What are we looking at his total for this season? His best season, I think, was in 2015, 2016. He scored 8 goals, 9 assists, and that got him about 158 points. So is that realistic, or are we looking at more of a 2013-14 season, 6 goals and 4 assists, 112 points? Jordie, what do you think?
I think it's realistic. 8 goals is you could easily get 8 goals, I think, especially if he's on pens. Well, 9 assists, yeah. I mean, I never like to do an estimation on how many points a player could get for the entire season. I mean, I look at a couple of game weeks. You want to get a player for a couple of game weeks. I don't get a player because he's able to get more than 300 points or more than 250 points. That's not the way I think. But I think Barkley is capable of getting double digits in either goals or assists. I mean, if he could get both, then it would be terrific value at 5.9. But yeah, still 5.9. If I had a spare transfer left, he would have been in. I think, and I'm quite disappointed in myself for not just picking him instead of Pulisic last game week. I mean, it's easy to say in hindsight because he scored a goal, but I've been saying it for 2 weeks now, I really want him now. I had to look for a replacement for De Bruyne, and it would have seen like 5 million in the bank. I went for Pulisic and I saw the Chelsea game, and I was quite disappointed that I didn't go for Barkley.
You still haven't got him in your side then?
Barkley, no.
I can't. It's
I've
shocking.
already made my transfers for this week. Like I said, if I had a spare transfer left, I would have brought him in for Pulisic.
Pulisic already, but isn't he meant to be like Chelsea's number 10? He's meant to be like their main driving force moving forward. Like they're going to build the team around him or something.
Yeah, I actually wasn't that impressed by Chelsea. Havertz, I wrote down something about Havertz. I don't think he's still up to speed yet. He scored a goal, but everyone would have scored that goal. I don't think he was threatening at all. And Pulisic played actually quite deep for my liking. Last season he was really used as a winger to play alongside Giroud or Abraham or whoever was playing up top, and he cut inside and he got into penalty area. But I haven't looked it up yet, but I think his final third touches were very low against Southampton. He was when Southampton had the ball, he played very deep. So immediately or during the game already, I was thinking, it's easy to say that I made a mistake by getting him, but I didn't like the way he was set up by Lampard, or I don't know what was in his mind.
It's funny that Chelsea side, isn't it? Because you kind of feel it would benefit from having the guile of Olivier Giroud there, like a real sort of like central post where everyone can play off. And I kind of understand playing Werner down the middle, but you just think Giroud could be the one player that makes all the other players tick. But I'm
actually always saying, I always said that Giroud is underestimated, is what you say?
Yeah.
I mean, I really like him. He's such a good team player.
Well, he's good enough to play for France, isn't he? So.
Yeah, no, but I mean, that says a lot. Yeah. But he makes other players thick.
Yeah. Thick, did you say?
Thick or...
I don't know. That kind of sounds kind of sexy in English.
Fortunately, Will's not here.
What do you mean?
Why do you think he turned his video off?
So, Will, you were listening all the time when I was talking about Chelsea.
I mean, I'm always listening. Jordie. I've got microphones everywhere. Your Chelsea point's good. I think Pulisic is still a good buy. It will take him maybe a week or two to get up to speed. He'll probably move back to the left now if Ziyech's going to play. So I think that will help him. And I thought he made one or two. He tried to get one or two runs into the middle. I wouldn't be as despondent as you, but I agree. Barkley, he looks incredible value. I know this is another move I was thinking was, do I go for Watkins or do I go for Barkley? Because with 2 transfers, I could have shifted to a 5-man midfield and got Barkley instead of Watkins. So I went with Watkins because I felt that, if you look at the goals against Liverpool, he was the one who scored early. He was taking up good positions. And I think even at the weekend against Leicester, he still took up good positions, but he was just very well marked by Johnny Evans. So he never quite got free and the balls tended to be more cut back. So I'm still okay with Watkins. I think he'll get into good positions and he'll get goals. But Barkley just looks, as you say, if he's taking penalties, he's kind of making those runs from deep, which could be very effective against Leeds, as we saw. Lundstrom, I think you were pointing out a couple of weeks ago, had chances for Sheffield United making those runs from deep. So he could do very well this weekend again.
Hello, I'm interrupting. Yes, sorry about that. I just wanted to check that you're all right and you got a cup of tea? Got everything you need? Good. Still to come, Jordie is going to talk on some hop-on, hop-off strategy, which is something I never heard before. But this is what this podcast is all about. Learning and enjoyment, of course. And maybe some laughter. And, of course, captaincy choices. And loads of just chat about football. Now, if you do want to get in touch with me, don't forget AlfPodsFF on Twitter, or you can email me. All the information is on the blurb. And if you have questions for the lads, you can just post them to me and I will ask them. And it doesn't matter what it is, honestly. Now, I'm going to get back to enjoying my beach. You get back to enjoying the podcast. See you at the end. Okay, chaps, here's a question for you. This game week, do I bring Kane in or do I bring Salah in? Kane or Salah? Salah or Kane? Kane or Salah? Will?
Well, I'm on Salah and I've got Son as well. So I'm not too... I mean, yeah, I'd like to have Kane, but I'm pretty happy with Son, Salah and Werner as my kind of 3 pricier players and our captain Salah.
Yeah, so it's... My point being is, like, do I need to get on Harry Kane? I mean, is he going to be the overall...
Yes.
Like, he is going to be... Matt, yes. You like... So you take Kane over Salah?
Yeah, well...
If you were me. Because, I'll tell you why. Because my forward line at the moment is Calvert-Lewin, Ings and Jimenez. We know Jordie doesn't like Jimenez. But
I would have transferred him out so you could say whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. So my point being is my midfield is where it's weakest, and I think Will was saying, you trade out your weak spot. So in theory, I should put Salah in, and I mean Ings and Jimenez have good fixtures coming up. So I don't know. What do you think?
Just from a risk point of view, you should probably not have your eggs in one basket and maybe go with Salah. I mean, whoever you bring in, are you going to captain either of them? Are you going to captain Salah, or if you bring him in, and likewise Kane?
Well, Son is my current captain.
Okay,
that can obviously change.
That's not exactly what he asked.
No, I know. I'm doing what they say. I'm avoiding the question. I haven't thought that part. Salah's a new choice for me because I was always going to go for Kane, and then I was either going to bring in midfield because I've got to get rid of Jota at some point. He's my weak spot.
Barkley.
Grealish or Barkley, or alternatively take a few hits and get a 4.5 in and bring Salah in. But then I lose out on Mahrez.
Yeah. The reason I kind of say it is because I think, the way Sheffield's set up, I think could be a bit of a problem for Salah. And the Stevens, especially in the international side, he's capable of playing, left wing back or kind of in a left centre back role. So, Sheffield might double up in that area to try and nullify Salah. Whether they will is another question. But, I don't think it'll be a huge scoring game. I think Sheffield, maybe they're not the team that they were last year. We haven't seen it at the start of the season, but I think they've definitely got the capability of kind of digging their heels in and grinding out a low-scoring game.
They stay in games, don't they? They do stay in games.
But I mean, whereas with Son and Kane, since they've come back, there's just been a kind of a chemistry there that, you kind of see in teams every now and then. Like a few years back with Liverpool, between Suarez and Sturridge, everyone was saying, like, who am I going to get between Suarez and Sturridge? Whereas the sensible option was to just get the two of them, because between the two of them, they had such good chemistry. They were scoring points nearly every game week, and it just made sense to have the two of them. Whereas I kind of get that feeling from Son and Kane, there definitely seems to be an on-pitch chemistry between them. They, especially with Kane, he just looks like a completely different person. Like, going from a player who got very few assists last season to turn into like Andrea Pirlo overnight. Yeah. Like, his vision looked really good. He seems to know where Son is going to be moving. In that first 45 minutes for Spurs, I was thinking, with Van Dijk out, City not maybe in the off the mark at the moment, could Spurs put in a challenge for the title? And then the second half happened. So
Will is getting sweaty hands now.
Yeah. So I saw West Ham getting one back, and I kind of, part of me was thinking, here's the comeback, and I didn't really believe it. I really didn't think they were going to get the draw, and they probably shouldn't have. I didn't look at the XG or the stats afterwards, but that Lanzini strike was something else.
West Ham had even higher XG, I think.
Yeah,
West Ham had a higher XG than
Wow. Okay, right. Wow.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
I think it was like 1.7 for Spurs against 1.9 for West Ham or something.
Yeah, that's right. It was a 0.2 difference.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that's also a consequence. You look at Kane's goal, for instance, the second one. That's not a high XG shot. I mean, that's got that's outside the area. The headers are never going to be particularly high XG. Son's maybe was the highest XG of the three goals, and we didn't have too many other shots apart from that, I would say.
Yeah. Well,
Kane hit the post as well, but was a hard shot too.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
Bill should have scored. Maybe that
Bales
was
is probably the highest XG chance. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. That's when Kane took that shot that kind of just clipped the post. It was in kind of such a position in the pitch where you weren't really expecting him to shoot. And I think that only comes from like a kind of a confidence that when
with his wrong foot as well.
Yeah. So like I don't know, Jordie might be able to give more insight, but I think when a striker is confident, they probably just feel they can they have that ability to just shoot from a lot of places on the pitch that they didn't think they could shoot from, and be confident that they can at least get it on target or cause some sort of problem for the goalkeeper.
So does this? Sorry to interrupt, Matt, but like. So I was watching the game, then I had to go and do a gig. So then I can only listen on the radio. And then it normally cuts out when I get on the Underground London Bridge, right? And just before it was cutting out, West Ham scored, which was great in terms of my draft league because my opposition had Spurs defender. And then obviously I found out 3-3 the other side. Bale had just come on. And we mentioned before about the possibility, not probability, but possibility that Bale could upset the apple cart. I mean, you obviously will know more about me when it comes to Spurs. What's your thought on Bale, and why aren't we talking about getting him in knowing that he's fit?
Well, I don't think he actually did upset the apple cart. I think it looks like it's going to work very well with the three of them, if I'm honest. I think he's just unfit at the moment. And he saw like he should have scored that chance. He did really well to create that chance. But a bit like Kane, actually, against West Ham in Project Restart, who did score, But he was he ended on the ground and he was puffing. I mean, Bale was puffing after that match. He'd done a sprint to get up the other end, but he's not fit yet. He's nowhere close to being match fit. I think once you see him fit, and it may take 2, 3, 4 matches before he gets fully up to speed, I think then we'll see the best of him. But I think he'll add to it. I mean, if you look at Son played the ball to Kane when Kane hit the post, and Bale had done a run across, which kind of made a bit of space. I think they can work well together as a three. I don't think there was only one point, I think, when Bale and Son sort of made converging runs for the same ball. But I'm sure they'll work that stuff out.
Tactics truck, I got a truck, it's full of tactics that brings me luck, and you will suck, cause you don't have a tactics truck.
Now, Jordie, you were talking about hop on, hop off strategy. Earlier you mentioned it to me. You've been looking at like Kane and Son and having the same team and their potential fixtures coming up later on in the game weeks.
Yeah, I was just mentioning Salah is for me a set and forget for the rest of the season. And I think we've discussed Harry Kane enough already. But I've brought him in for Jimenez. And Kane, for me now, like Salah, is also a set and forget for the rest of the season, because I just think he's the best option out of the Spurs players, even with the price difference. Because for me, he feels safer to be captained. I also mentioned the difference between form and fixtures. But I think for Tottenham, there's quite a fixture shift coming in game week 10, I think.
Game week 9, I think it is.
Yeah, game week 9. They get City, Chelsea, Arsenal and Liverpool in 4 out of 5 game weeks. And I don't think I want to have both Son and Kane for those games, even considering the form they're in, which could be over by then, of course. But like I said, I prefer to have Kane over Son. And that's when I went to check out the fixtures for the upcoming 7-8 game weeks. So I was thinking I'll keep Son for 3 more weeks, which gets me Burnley, Brighton and West Brom, of course. And then I'd like to switch to Rashford for their for the United game against West Brom at home in game week 9. And then from Rashford to Sterling in game week 10. And City have Burnley, Fulham and West Brom at home in 3 of 5 game weeks at a time, which gives me quite a couple of very decent fixtures from premium players. So I was thinking about the hop on, hop off strategy. Do you guys plan forward that long for premium players? Or I heard Will saying, yeah, Salah is a set and forget for me as well.
I just want to pick you up on something, Jordie. So you said at the beginning you were giving advice to somebody on FISO that you should pick players in form.
Yeah.
You've now just outlined a strategy of picking players for fixtures.
Yeah, but for me, there's quite a difference between premium players and non-premium players considering form and fixtures. Because
the dogs disagree, Jordie.
Yeah. Jordie, you've just said something that those dogs do not like. So whatever it is, say it again.
No, because it's like when you consider picking defensive players. When you pick premium defenders, you don't. Yeah, I'm not sure how I can articulate or.
Yeah. You chose the most difficult word to describe. I don't know how to articulate my words. I don't use that word, all right.
When you pick 4.5 defenders at the start of the season, you're going to look at rotation. You want to pick up the best possible fixtures. Yeah. So what I said on FISO was not about defenders, of course, but it was from players from those teams like Villa, Brighton, Wolverhampton, Southampton. You want to own those players when they have decent fixtures at the start of the season. And for premium players, I think it's different. I don't know why. I don't know. Probably because they have games like Burnley and Fulham, they have the ability to hold. And when you own Son for I know he's in form, but you won't get a hat-trick out of Son against Arsenal or Chelsea, I think.
Yeah, there's less. It's less likely anyway.
Yeah. I mean, of course, Jimenez is more likely to score against Newcastle than against City. But based on this season, those players, I think it's just a hunch. Maybe I'm not explaining myself very well, but I was already thinking someone's going to pick on me.
Yeah, nice one, Will.
No, I'm not. I don't mean it that way. But
No, that's fine. I think
it's good to get this discussion going.
It's good because, from me, a perspective coming into FPL, it's good to hear all the strategies and all the terminologies. What was the one you used? Stay and don't pay or something? Stay and don't move. What was the one you used for Salah and Kane?
Set and forget.
Set and forget. I mean, that sounds like something the local government would go around to schools and give out leaflets and say, "Don't forget, kids, set and forget." So that's good. I personally, I look at fixtures and then I try and do blocks of fixtures. This is not necessarily for FPL, but other formats, but slightly different on draft because you make your transfers earlier and all that stuff. But football changes, doesn't it? Now we've only got about less than 10 minutes to go. So let's do the captaincy. And I meant to do a gig tonight, so I do have to go as well, run over. All right, so let's do captaincies. Matt, do you want to lead the line? Who are you going with?
Yeah, I'm on Kane again.
Yeah, I don't know why I asked, to be honest.
Yeah, Kane again. So, of course, Salah is a great option. I just have my doubts about how many Liverpool are going to score against Sheffield United. They're a very tricky team. And even just on that note about form and fixtures, I want to bring in Aguero soon now that he's fit. But the funny thing is, I'm looking at the fixtures and I see Man City playing Sheffield United away and I'm going, I don't want to bring Aguero in for that. But then I look at City at home against Liverpool and I'm like, I might bring him in for there, which is strange because... Yeah. But, with Van Dijk being out all of a sudden, I'm thinking, is Liverpool going to be that tough of a fixture? Even playing home and away, like we've touched on, with no crowds, is there an advantage there? There's certain players I wouldn't have touched if they were away to a certain team, whereas if they were home, I might have considered them. Maybe I should throw that kind of ideology out the window now this season. But, I know Kane is away to Burnley, but I really like the attacking form of Spurs and... Yeah, I'm just gonna. If it's not broke,
don't fix it.
Don't fix it. Yeah, so I'm gonna roll the dice again with Kane.
Right, you're gonna roll the dice with Kane. I'm gonna ask Will, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna say Salah. Will, who are you captaining?
Werner.
Werner. Werner against Man United is really the standout fixture from my opinion. No, Salah against Sheffield. I disagree with slightly on Matt's view of Sheffield. I think they're still getting up to speed. I felt that second half, Fulham were very good against them, and Fulham can be good. I think they're a possession-type team, and they started creating more chances against them. They don't look quite right yet to me, Sheffield United, and I think Salah's looked pretty sharp. So, despite the fact Liverpool maybe as a whole aren't doing as well as they should be, certainly not doing as well as they should be, but Salah's looked pretty sharp. So
that finish, that goal he scored. He was
great.
standing around waiting for a bus, and then suddenly a ball came and he just volleyed it in.
Yeah. No, so he's my captain without a doubt. I was just quickly away from the captaincy. A couple of points I was just going to make. Jordie idea of getting Rashford in, I was looking at that as well, and I completely agree. And also agree with Jordie's policy of getting, premiums are fixture proof to an extent. I think that's true. I agree with that. But Rashford's stat from last season, Rashford had a big chance every 91 minutes, which doesn't sound like much, but that's that's more frequent than any of the other United attackers. I think Fernandes was on 130 and he was taking pens. So Rashford underperformed last season. I think he could be a really good value pick once, especially with good fixtures.
It's what I said a couple of weeks ago. Don't pick Bruno Fernandes. Yeah.
Do you think I should be getting in Rashford this week then?
No,
exactly. That's what I thought.
If you don't have Kane and Salah, then you should not get Rashford.
You've got other priorities, exactly.
Yeah. Good. I like it. I'm glad. I'm just checking. Jordie, very quickly, captaincy before it kicks off, and then before it kicks off in your household.
Everything. I will copy everything what Will said about the captaincy. Salah.
You going Salah?
No doubt.
Oh, see, now
yes.
I want Salah in. I might leave Kane this week, Matt. I might leave it. I know, right?
I didn't say Kane is a poor choice.
No, I don't. I just think it's like going back to what Will said about strengthening the weakest part of your team. And for me, my midfield is very light. My attack's quite heavy, so.
Well, look, I mean, you can only get one of them, and at the end of the week, if let's say you get Kane and Salah hauls, and and vice versa, who are you going to be kicking yourself more about if you don't get I'd be thinking about it that way, because at the end of the day, you can only get one of them, so you're going to have to miss out somewhere if you think both are going to do well. So who do you like?
Who do I want?
Who's damage limitation basically?
Who would you like to have long term?
That as well.
Well, actually, yeah. Well, what if I do get Kane in? I think I wouldn't be able to get Salah, but I'll be able to get two higher ender players. I could get two 175s
because he's 1.4 cheaper.
Yeah, but rather than if I got Salah, I'd have to have another midfield 4.5. That means I'd have three midfielders at 4.5. And I think that's one too many. I'd much rather have someone who around the 6 mark, like Ross Barkley. Maybe you could chip in with goals. If you can get 150 points,
it won't be long around the 6 mark, I think.
Yeah. Anyway,
not after I transfer him into me.
One other quick point I wanted to make is Richarlison's not playing for 3 games. I think I'm right in saying. Rodriguez penalties.
Yep, or Calvert-Lewin.
I think
so
my money's
sure
on Rodriguez. It's going to happen this time.
Okay, I was going to say this time.
You're telling me McCarthy penalty save for me this week, Will, yeah?
No, Fraser Forster will have come on by then because McCarthy caused the penalty.
Good, I like it. Right, we might as well finish like that then.
I'm disappointed we couldn't talk about Kilman.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, just get away.
Well, do you think he's a legit option?
No. I was going to ask you guys.
Quick conversation. Yeah, he's not a legit option. Let's
not long term.
There are too many question marks.
Yeah.
4.0 playing for a Wolves defense.
Yeah. I mean, I think Seiss looks a better option now, even Kilman or no Kilman, because Seiss got chance. Yeah, well, Seiss got chances from left wing back there. He had a goal disallowed, and then even at centre back, he's getting 2 or 3 chances a game. So it doesn't really matter where he's playing. He looks nailed to start.
Yeah,
whether what position that is, he's still getting chances. So.
Yeah, hear that, Jordie? Hear that? Nailed to start.
Maybe they're going to get results in the coming 2 game weeks, but after I'm not tempted by Wolves players.
Yeah.
I'm happy I got that out before the minute.
Look, if he's going to play, he's a nice 4 million replacement for Mitchell now that Van Aanholt is coming back. So even if it's short term, nothing to lose really.
And then we have another podcast for another game week. Yeah, it's game week 6 now, isn't it, this week? Yes, indeed. Like I said, it was a bit longer than normal, but I really enjoyed what the lads had to offer. I always enjoy what they have to offer, actually. And I'm learning week by week, as I hope you are. Or if you're not learning, you're just enjoying it, that's fine. Kilman is interesting, isn't it? The young Wolves lad who got man of the match the other day. His points haul for his 4 million is very good. But you kind of feel with Marcel coming back into fitness, he's going to slot onto the left. And then Seiss will go back to centre half. But we'll see if he stays in the team. That could be a good pickup. I have just picked up Barkley myself. I know it seems a bit cliche, the fact that we talked about Barkley. But, that price, shouldn't be sniffed at too much, should it? Really? If he's going to play and be active in all attacks and stuff, that's good. The other one I'm looking at is Kane, obviously, but I'm worried about Kane's paper ankles during European games and stuff like that, so I'm holding off on that. Might take a hit. And Salah, I might leave Salah. Not forever, just let's see if we can get points elsewhere. So pricey. But brilliant, yeah. And he doesn't get injured, does he? Let's face it. Good luck, everyone. Game week 6. Get in touch with me. You want to say hi. If you don't want to say hi, you don't have to. If you want to get in touch with me psychically and say hi, you can do that. Oh, hi. Someone just said hi psychically. Very good. See you next week.
FPL, I want to be champion. Or at least I'm going to be top 10. Now there's this guy who plays the best at chess. If I beat him, that's relative success. Take it down now! Will I beat Magnus? Or is this madness?
Will I beat Magnus? I got to know, I got to beat that Magnus.